Hey, welcome to the Growth Mode podcast. Today, me and the guys are going to break down 6 or 7 of the AI tools that you can begin to look at or start using more intelligently so you can save time, automate things, save money, and most importantly, achieve your goals and make more money in 2026. So, welcome to the Growth Mode. It only takes one spark, one insight, one idea to create the exponential growth you desire. Welcome to the Growth Mode podcast, where we share the strategies for your growth. All right, so fellas, I'm really excited about this show. There's just so many transformational things happening in our space. For my listener, as I mentioned in my intro, we want to talk about 7 things, whether it's 7 very cool tactics you can do with AI or some new companies that we're watching we think are really interesting. So if you love AI and you see the future the way we see the future, you're going to love our show. So Jimmy, why don't you start? What's something new that you're playing with right now that you would encourage people that want to grow, like our listener listening right now? What would you
yeah. Well, what's funny, Tom, is right now when we're recording this pod, this is the end of year where almost all brands are doing those sort of Spotify wrapped. You're seeing it with YouTube, you're seeing it with Spotify, you're seeing with really smart agents are taking an opportunity to kind of recap what's happened this past year. And so I think we're seeing people talk about obviously the number of transactions, number of maybe, the volume of houses they sold, but they're being really creative. Like, hey, number of cups of coffee I drank, or number of open houses I attended, or number of, miles I've driven. And it's just this great way to kind of highlight and showcase your body of work, because there's an old adage, which is busy people want to work with busy people. And so much about what we do in real estate is just kind of getting in front of people and showing the fact that, hey, we're in the business. I was thinking about this the other day, guys. I was like, how would if I were to coach an agent, and I would say how would I want them to position themselves, or how would I want them to think about having the right mindset? And I was thinking a realtor should be like someone who runs a marathon. Because if you're running a marathon, guess who knows you're running a marathon? Every single person you meet.
You're right.
Right? So it's almost like as an agent, you want to think like a marathoner, like telling everyone that, hey, you're in real estate. So the end of year wrap is a good way of doing it. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And I just want to show you something I was playing around with this weekend, because this is, Jason, you'll love this because this is right up your alley. I did let me pull this up so you guys can see this. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yeah, I got it. Make it bigger for our viewer.
Cool. So let me go ahead and copy it. I'll preview it in a full screen here. So this is a web page I designed, Tom, which is the end of year wrap for a fictitious agent, Sarah Mitchell. And as I scroll down here, you're going to see this. This is what I would cover. Hey, number of open houses I held. If I keep scrolling down, I'd cover hey, here's all the different cities I toured, including all the miles I've driven, number of showings, number of properties, right? Average miles per week. If I keep scrolling down, this talks about kind of how their listings get more listing or views than other people's listings. And then the number of offers I submitted and what my acceptance rate was on those offers. And then we'll get into things like number of homes sold, plus obviously volume. And then we'll talk about things like your list versus sales price. But you can see I'm designing this in a beautiful way that is completely unique to that particular agent. And then things like list price versus ask price. And then finally kind of a CTA. So the reason I share this, and we'll drop this in the show notes, everyone can click on this link and check it out, is I created this thing with Claude, and which is absolutely mind-blowing that you can create an end-of-year Spotify-style wrap with Claude. You can publish a web page. You can convert it into MP4 players for an Instagram carousel. Of course, you can convert it into images for stories. You can have Claude write an email kind of summarizing the key learnings here, but you can do these beautifully designed end of year wraps using AI. And this was, Jason, I don't think anyone was doing this 12 months ago, frankly.
No. And actually, I think you just kind of skated past the really big comment where you talked about Claude. So clearly Claude is building out the code for you. Go deeper on when you said you converted it to video. Talk about that.
Yeah. So what I did is I basically took, you can see this version that we're looking at right now. I took this version. I said, listen, I want to convert this piece of content into a carousel for Instagram. So if you went to my Instagram right now, you'll see this, Jason.
Yeah. This is
I'll pull my Instagram, which, by the way, if you're listening to this podcast right now, could you please follow me on Instagram? Because I'm literally 200 people away from 50,000 followers. Just a quick plug there.
Unfollow. Just
I'm
Don't
going to take away one.
don't do that, please. But this is Jason. This is an example, right? You're looking at this
Yeah.
on my screen.
Yeah.
I took that landing page that you just saw that Claude
Yeah.
created, and I said, "Hey, Claude, create an Instagram reel for each of these sections," and I
Yeah.
uploaded those as MP4s into Instagram.
So Claude came out about a month or so ago. This is the backstory. They released their feature called File Execution, where we've had the technology in Claude for about a year or longer called Artifacts, where we were using it to create code. We were talking about this inside of AI Marketing Academy. We're creating HTML email newsletters and all kinds of stuff. But what it could not do, it could not make PDFs, documents, PowerPoints. It couldn't make actual files until like a month or two ago when they released this file execution tool. So now it can make all those things and more. So like the idea of having it make the video, you can have it make a full PowerPoint for you. I could turn this in, you can make it can make anything for you, and it creates the baseline. I think that's a really, really ingenious use of Claude. People don't talk enough about Claude. I mean, everybody's been asking me, which one should I be paying for right now? And I think, pick your Gemini or ChatGPT, pick your main one, but it's like, if you want the tool that personally, it sounds like you are too, but I'm relying on it the most for doing heavy lifting, complex tasks like what you just described, it's Claude. Claude is just wildly useful.
Well, Tom, real quick on that note, Tom, just pass the mic to you here for a second, but like this is a great example of how we're starting to see this bifurcation of these large language models.
Yeah.
Where certain ones are insanely good for specific tasks.
Yes. And I think that's the insight for people. If you look at, Jason, you remember when we first started talking about AI publicly at the 3 years and 4 months ago, and we're like, hey, we've been through this transformation before, right? I showed like the Palm Pilot to a BlackBerry to an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
Like, from faxing to having a website. So for our listener, you've been through this transformation before. So like, you've got this. But I remember back then we had this big wheel, Jason, of like then the 97 AI applications that they could look at. And today it's more like the 105 applications in about 73 different verticals of how you could use AI. So I love this idea. I love people reimagining Claude. I actually want to go a different direction. I want to say to my listener, listen to me. If I was going to build a 2025 reflection, I wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things I would want to put inside there. And I'm only thinking about how I want to influence the person that's reading or watching. So I want to talk about my reach. We had this many emails. We did this many door knocks. We did this many houses. We did this many direct mail pieces. We did this many social posts. We got 10 million eyeballs. So it's like I am working hard to communicate my sellers, their properties. Number 2, I want to be able to demonstrate my work ethic. I did this and this and this from a work ethic standpoint. Number 3, I had this many offers, this many counters, and this many successful negotiations. I would even acknowledge, and I had 1 fall apart, 2 fall apart, 3 fall apart, right? Like I won as an attorney 97% of the time, and 3% of the time I lost, right? We're all human. We all know a 4.9 star rating is better than a 5 because only 5, they're not human. Then here's where it gets interesting. How much money did I save my buyers in 2025 from a negotiation standpoint? And then my other one is, how much money did I get my sellers above fair market value? How much money did I get my sellers above fair market value? So instead of, obviously like Jason, remember, hey, I had 43,000 blueberries and nearly became, whatever that blood close, whatever, almost killed me.
The character from Willy Wonka that turns into a blueberry.
That's what I'm envisioning right now, Jason.
That's exactly right. I think I almost did. Instead of, like, hey, we sold this many houses. And if you go to my Instagram, you'll see, I wrote this question, like, what do you think of these 5 tactics? Let me know your thoughts, as ways to sort of talk about how you can communicate to your past clients in Sphere as an example. But I think this piece, if you did your reach, your work ethic, your content, your offers written, counters and negotiations, your money saved for your buyers, and money made above the market, fair market value of sellers, that would be in your listing appointment or your buyer appointment every time. It'd be part of your bio. Jason, what am I missing on that list, by the way?
Yeah, so you get your reach. Go through it one more time for me. You get your reach,
work ethic, demonstrate work ethic, my offers written, counters, and negotiations that were successful.
Yep.
Right. And the ones that fell apart, how much money I saved from my buyers on average.
Yep.
Right. Or maybe in total. And then how much money I made for my sellers above the fair market value.
I think you need seller time on market as well. Like how long my homes took on market. Yeah.
DOM versus the MLS.
Yep.
I think that's a great one.
Yeah. I think you get time and money at the same time. It's good. And it's all the right stuff. It's what buyers and sellers need to see. It's the report card, the scorecard. And I love the way it frames it. Both you guys, like Tom, great instincts on what should be on there. Jimmy, really, really flipping smart use of Claude right there. That's a really great use of Claude.
All right. So Jason, what about you? What would you
say? So we're talking about
like, okay, I'm going to do that. What's next?
Okay. So I can't get over Neil Patel's research. So we've talked a lot about GEO inside this podcast. GEO is generative engine optimization. It basically means in a simplified way, hey, when a prospective seller or buyer asks ChatGPT or Google's AI overview who they should hire, that it recommends you. But there's a flip side of it too. I came across some research that Neil Patel said, where he had this, it was like a tweet that said, if you're losing to AI, if you're losing to AI answers, it doesn't matter how high you rank on Google. And it was this story about AI answers. And what does that mean? It means people are asking questions. They want to know something when it's really, really relevant and important in their lives or in their decision-making processes for buying or selling. And so they ask the robot, they ask ChatGPT, they ask Google's AI overview, and they do it in the nick of time. So here's what his research said. I'm going to kind of create a context for why this matters first. His research showed that if you are getting cited, you're one of the citations. This isn't about being the blue link inside the search results page. This is about showing up in the AI overview or in ChatGPT's cited sources as a citation. His research shows a 10 to 23x click-through conversion performance. What that means is if I got let's say it's a blog that addresses the answer to some question a seller in my local market has. Should I sell my house in December? Or by the time you're probably listening to this, hey, does it make sense to sell my home in the brand new year in 2026? Something like that. It's the question they've got to answer before they take action. They're in the decision stage. They ask that question. What Neil's research says is, okay, scenario A, you wrote a blog and it's one of the links that ranks in Google search results. The blue link, the thing we're all used to seeing. Scenario 2 is it shows up in the AI overview and it's a citation or it's in ChatGPT. What his research says is by showing up as the citation, you should expect 10 to 23 times better click-through and conversion performance. Why? Because the questions people are asking that triggers an AI overview are so nuanced, so detailed, they are massively high intent. And so what Neil's research says is people who are asking questions, they're high intent. And so we just did this inside of AI Marketing Academy. We released what we call the automated BOFU blogger. BOFU stands for bottom of, it's fun to say. The automated BOFU blogger stands for bottom of funnel. We specifically went after, okay, what if we could create an automatic agentic workflow? That's a big word. So I would say, fellas, I think in 2026, the word agentic only gains steam and popularity. Agentic means AI agents. It means AI that does stuff end to end. It completes tasks. It makes decisions. It handles your email. It handles your this or your that. So we made an agentic workflow for our members where it's automatically researching topics that are of high intent in your local marketplace, and then writing blogs, and then it saves them to wherever you want them to terminate. It could be WordPress or whatever you have as a draft. So you come in, you lay final eyes on it, and you publish it, and you can have it set to run daily or run every other day or run once a week, whatever you want. And so there are tools, I think a lot of our listeners have probably heard about tools like Zapier, Zapier. Zapier's been around for a long, long time, about as long as I've been in the real estate industry. And Zapier became popular as an automation workflow solution. So what it allows me to do is connect my Google Drive and my Google Sheets with my, I don't know, my Slack, or when something happens here, then make this happen there. So it can allow triggers and actions between all my different software to create sort of a line of sequence where first this, and then this, and then this, and then this. But it's all been very manual to set those workflows up. And it's been around. It's great stuff, but it's time consuming and manual. When you start putting the combination of these automation softwares like Zapier alongside AI, the pairing is full on agentic. And so now what we're able to do, and what we did inside this workflow, is we're actually making some of the steps are actually OpenAI. So what happens is we tell the workflow, hey, every day at 7 a.m., you're going to research this topic on Perplexity and find the top 5 things based upon your tests that appear to be being searched for this agent in this local market looking to get this kind of a client. And then it's going to bring that back and pass it over to OpenAI. And OpenAI is going to say, which of these is the most bottom of funnel? And it's going to then analyze. It's actually got a lot of steps. We also put in guardrails like, hey, have we blogged about this before? If we have, do we want to update the blog or make a new blog? So we put in all kinds of guardrails. So this thing is fully autonomous and agentic. And it ultimately writes the blog, but it doesn't just write the blog. We prompt OpenAI in a way that's so specific that it creates a perfectly optimized blog for AI answers. And so the goal is you're going to spend this December, when we're filming this right now, if Jimmy's Christmas tree didn't give it away in the background, you're going to spend this December building a system that in 2026 is going to run itself. And you're going to have buyers and sellers in your local marketplace asking questions about, should I sell like this? Should I buy over here? They're asking serious questions. And now you're going to reap the benefits of 10 to 23 times better click-through rate, better conversion. They go to your website. And what Neil's research also found is, hey, if you can answer that question that is standing between them and taking action, their only next move is just to call you. And so this is the alarm I want to sound everybody. If you're only doing top of funnel, middle of funnel marketing, and you're not aggressively focused on bottom of funnel, you're letting your competitors swoop in and cherry pick the rebound at the exact moment it matters most. And this is why we're doing this. It's a lead generating factory.
It's a conversion factory.
Yeah, exactly.
2 things that go through my head. First of all, if you then somehow incorporate into some of these blogs your reach, your work ethic, your offers, your content, your, like contract negotiations, your days on market, how much money you save buyers, how much money you made sellers. If somehow that was weaved into it, oh my goodness, talk about a way to get a yes.
Well, and heck, man, you could do it where there's no rule that says there's only one blog and one Zap. You could have like 3 of these workflows. Like, hey, every Monday it's an AI answer. Every Tuesday it's more of a brand piece. And they're tuned slightly different to write a little bit different style blogs for different purposes that all work together and they make the sauce taste good.
I just think it would be, inside of the Bofu blog.
Yeah.
There's
I see what you mean.
As I stated in this blog link here, right? Oh, yeah. Able to right? I think that.
Yeah. Let me show you this real fast if I can find it.
Okay.
I'm going to go into this.
As you're doing that, I want to say to my friend listening.
Yeah.
I think what you're getting in this so far, I hope, is that we're moving from like fun and interesting AI to like save time, save money, make money AI. Like at the January Elite fellas, we're literally the entire conversation is operations and revenue. Operations and revenue. Save me time, save me money, make me money. And if my friend listening, if you could just imagine, like, what have I been doing forever that I have to do manually?
Yeah.
Now get solved. Right down to this bottom of the funnel blogging that once you set it up, it's just set it and forget it, right, Jason? I mean, I assume you're in blog, but it's like set it and forget it. And that's going to make you money, but it also saves you time.
Massive.
Like that's a winner. But Jason, you were going to show us something.
Yeah. So what's like, this is the prompt that we're giving to all of our members in here. It's one of the prompts. There's a few prompts, but this is the one that writes the blog. And Tom, this goes back to your point. You can tell it, we have embedded instructions that say, hey, these are our keywords. This is where I want to build my topic authority. Here's who I am and who I want to attract. And so it's already embedding. I love your idea of specifically embedding some of the wins and milestones. That's a cool like version 2 to add to it. But I simply want to point out to you, it's all in the prompt. If you tell it, it's your will that makes it become so in the execution of that prompt. So it's like, I'm just telling it, hey, make sure you mention Jason Pantana. I want to build topic authority. I want to be the listing agent, blah, blah, blah. And it just does it for you. It's prompting is a superpower.
I love it. Jimmy, you got thoughts on that? That was a big one. We got to get through 7.
Well, the only thought that it's more of just a really quick question, Jason, maybe answer in a rapid fire style is, are we coming to the end of traditional pay-per-click advertising, given the fact that so much of what we're talking about right now is optimizing the very first thing that a consumer sees when they search for a keyword?
Yeah, I'll go back to so Neil Patel has been talking about this for a couple of years now. He was anticipating this, like, Tom, when we first started talking about AI like 3 years ago. I forget the exact stat, so this is a fabricated, made up stat, but it was something like 98% of Google ads are products. They're people searching for and shopping for stuff. And so I think when you start getting into service-based industries and process-related questions, to your point, Jimmy, this is just an absolute opportunity for not PPC, but inbound organic blogging styled content that answers the question the consumer has in the nick of time. And something I think everybody should be aware of is pay attention to how often your ChatGPT, your Gemini, whatever you use says searching the web. Pay attention to that. Because whenever you see it searching the web, what that means is it's finding the answer for you, and then it's synthesizing it back. The question is, where is it finding the answer? And that's where your blogging starts to become the play.
Yeah. Yeah. Super interesting.
I'm gonna argue a different point. And it's a meeting I had with my team last Friday, which was, all right, team, what are we going to do to get ready for the second they start AI ads? Is that a different?
So Google's been testing them. They're testing them on little like third-party language models through the display network, and they've been doing it for like 6 months.
I know, but I'm thinking of Facebook ads, Google ads, like any placement of all the traditional stuff that we've been doing forever, Jason. Like, so I'm asking the two of you.
Yeah.
What should myself, my team, and the person listening do to prepare for that? Because they're going to flip that model. And it's
what's interesting is very rarely do old tactics translate to new mediums. So in other words, let's say as an example, prior to Google Ads, you were doing traditionally print media. Well, print media did not translate really that well to traditional pay-per-click advertising, where it was like a sensational headline, get the click, drive them to a landing page, optimize the form, optimize the follow-up. So I think the question really becomes the question I would ask myself in sort of thought experiment is, what is going to stay the same as it relates to this advertising? And I think that there are some principles there, like good copywriting and good hooks are likely going to carry through this new medium, but what's going to change? And I think what's going to change is people's ability to interact with your ads. That's the thing that, like, the way in which you interact with an ad today is you click, you read, you fill out a form, and someone contacts you. In the future, interacting with an AI ad might be like literally you click on it or you interact with it, and now you're conversating with that brand through that ad. And so, what we know to be true about these AI chatbot tools, like Intercom is a great example in the customer service space, is that you have to feed it a tremendous amount of context about your business or your brand for it to be relevant. Right. And so I think this could be a great opportunity, Tom, for people to really start documenting everything about their business, internally operations, externally marketing. I mean, if you ask the average agent, hey, do you have a brand kit? The answer is, what's a brand kit? Right? Like your tone of voice, your mission statement, your vision statement, your worldview, all the things Mark Davidson has taught us over the years. Like, starting to document that stuff is how you probably prepare yourself for this new transition.
Jimmy, I'll piggyback on top of that too. I think most agents could go a lot deeper on the services they technically offer. So something we're noticing on the way people are prompting to do research is they don't just say who's the best realtor in Boston, Massachusetts. They say, who's the best realtor who specializes in X, Y, and Z, works the north end of Boston, Massachusetts, and understands condos, blah, blah, blah. They're going to get way more genie in a lamp. This is what I'm really looking for. And what's going to happen very quickly, I believe, is most businesses, most real estate professionals, they're going to simply lack the content on their website that can truly answer those questions in a personalized way. So I think services pages where you talk about how you work with luxury, how you work with military, how you work with condos, all the little details and nuances of who your customers are. I think that helps to potentially prepare you for more of people digging in and going deeper.
Yeah.
I was on the road this past week, and I was speaking with a wonderful realtor in California, and we were talking about AI, and she shared about, ChatGPT just rolled out their new shopping inside of ChatGPT, which is making other, like Amazon, others are like, what? So she told me the story. She said, my granddaughter wanted this very specific pair of jeans, like $200 pair of jeans. Couldn't find them anywhere on any website. I went to ChatGPT and said, this is the size, this is the color. There was some specific stitching they had to have. I can't find them anywhere. I need them by this date. Go fetch. And it worked for her, and it found him on some little random boutique in Arkansas. And she shipped him that immediately, right then and there. And so I think being able to go after the nuance and the details of what you want. When you look at the history of sales funnels and online, when everything went online, information became demanded. I didn't go to the car dealer to learn more about the car. I wanted to know everything about it before I got there. Yeah. And so I think, like, what's the next level of wanting to know everything about it before I get there? I want to know everything about this house. I want to know everything about this realtor. I want to know everything about everything. And when you start thinking like that, you're like, the solution is I got to make more content. I have to supply the demand for that.
You go back to all the data on, it's sitting with Joe Hanauer, right, who I mentioned with you guys, realtor.com move 87. I call him the Yoda of real estate. Joe, if you're listening, I love you. Thank you always for the time and mentorship. We're talking about how the data says a home shopper will pretty much work with anybody to see a house. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I told you, Jason, I'm tracking one of my clients, January to August, 518 buyer agreements, single party show agreements signed. Then we looked in September and 518. So they had more than 518 signed, looked with one of our agents, and then bought a home from somebody else. Mm. Buyers, it's convenience. I mean, of course it's going to be likability, but it's convenient. I just want to go see a house. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sellers, and the reason why I'm bringing this up, sellers, what are they looking for? Way more data. Oh, yeah. So the question is, like, from an agent standpoint, listening to this, what do they need to be adding into their profile, adding into their bio, adding into their blogs that expresses, if you're a seller like this, I do all of these things. Here's my data. Here's my So you probably already have this.
I'm looking for the slide. Keep talking.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting, Tom, is if you go to on my Instagram, I covered this recently. I talked about sort of the 9 objections that every consumer has about any particular product. And so I would say things like, you look at timing, right? So like creating a story around timing and getting data around timing. So let's go through the list real quick. There's 9 of them. Timing, covering like, how are you faster than the competition, right? And why is that important? What is the cost? And why is it worth it? Mm-hmm. Number 3, trust. Communicate to me and create a persuasive story, right? Why I should trust you. Yes, that's reviews, but it's probably more than that. It's probably, as Jason's pointing out, like full-blown case studies on your website. Number 4 is fit and relevance. So yeah, hey, you sell houses in Auburn, New Hampshire, but I live in Goffstown or I live in Boston. So that's not really relevant for me. Hey, you sell houses that are $500,000, but I actually have a $1.5 million house. That's not really relevant for me. Number 5 is effort. This is this idea of, like, if it's too hard or too complex for someone to make a decision, they're not going to make a decision. The easiest decision is no decision. Number 6 is risk and avoiding mistake. So how are you going to help them de-risk the decision of hiring you as the agent? Number 7 is social influence. This is like, are you the agent that everybody hires, or are you just some random person? Because if I tell my buddy, hey, Tom, I just hired this agent, he's going to go, why didn't you hire this other agent? Everyone hires that other agent. So this idea of social influence. Number 8 is priority, which is basically saying, like, answer the why not now question. And number 9 is going to be, this is like the deepest one at the top of the pyramid here, which is identity, which is this idea, like, this isn't who I am. So how can you be the agent where people kind of identify that feels like they work with you because you feel like them, is the idea behind it. So I think just these are concepts that go so much further beyond the traditional, Like, I sell a lot of houses and you should hire me, is the point. These are real objections consumers have that you have to address with your marketing and your content.
I love those. And my thought is, what if you combine those with, this is a slide I've shared a lot of times, just breaking down 10 specializations. And there's a lot more, 10 specializations where the consumer might be looking for an agent who possesses some kind of a pedigree for some specific part of residential real estate. They work in luxury. They have a track record of helping expired listings actually get sold. And so you plug in your reviews, you post pages on your website. And then I think, Jimmy, if you layered some of these more the whys, this is why, this is how I come off versus, and this is what they're looking for. Those two things together, that's chemical. You specialize in a particular area. Like imagine this one street, I just dominate this specific street in this particular subdivision. Each of these could be a services page on your website. They could be blogs. You just have to put the content somewhere AI can find it in a structured way.
Well, Jason, you bring up a really good point. And Tom, coming back to the topic of today's growth mojo, which is AI, I'll tell you what people should be doing that they're not doing right now, that if I was in their position, I would do, which is unlike any time in our history, doing an analysis of how you compare against, let's say, the competition or the market in your MLS would be extraordinarily difficult. Meaning if I uploaded like my entire sales history, which I could include any price reductions I had, I can include obviously my list to sales price ratio. I can get even data from Zillow to look at my views and saves compared to my competition. And then I upload a subset of the market. Well, you can use AI to provide deep analysis to identify what you are exceptionally good at, where you need to improve, and what's really a big problem for you. And so I think that this idea of differentiation, Tom, it's like differentiate or die. We always say that, like, well, like most agents can't answer the question, how are you objectively better? Because guess what? Better is better. And so I think this is where we want to be in a position right now where agents, like if you don't know that data absolutely cold, it's hard to build your value prop. It's hard to build your mission statement because it's very generic. Hey, Tom, I'm great at customer service. I really love my clients. I've been doing this for 20 years. Okay, I just fell asleep.
Right. Like that just gets you in the game.
Right? That's exactly right.
It's like saying I'm nice. It's expected.
Yeah, which is by the way the biggest insult Tom ever gave me when I asked him to describe. I said, "Hey, could you like what's the first word that comes to my mind when you think of me?" He goes, "Oh, Jimmy's a nice guy," which is like that's like someone saying like, "Hey, like meet my friend Jason. Oh yeah, he's got a great personality." Right? like come on.
And just for the record, Jason, it was very clear that I didn't actually know Jimmy when I said that.
That's right, Tom.
Clearly,
That's right.
All right. Okay. Number 3, I'm going to do a quick one. What's your opinion, fellas, on our buddy Andrew Flackner's new voice surge with Real Scout? Like I got the early demo and I was like, dude, I'm impressed.
I got to jump in on this. So Real Scout launched an incredibly powerful tool that is agent facing. It's not consumer facing. This empowers agents and it's AI home search. So I'll give you I did a video on this. I got the demo as well with Andrew. Very impressed at what they've done. And if agents are watching or listening to this podcast, wrap your arms around understanding what it does, because it's a differentiator for you. It's going to be powerful for you.
It's also a time saver.
Big time.
It's also, so it's by definition, it's a moneymaker. So
yeah. So here's the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Zillow became the first and only real estate app inside of ChatGPT, call it 2 months ago. And it was, a lot of hype, not a lot of functionality, limited data. They couldn't share a lot of their data because of MLS licensing limitations and stuff like that. What Andrew has done with Real Scout is a lot different because Real Scout's actually connected to all your MLSs here in the States. And so what they've built is basically a chat where you can type a prompt. It could be your Christmas wish list of, I want a home on this street, or this street. I want it to be at least no more than 15 minutes away from this spot. I want it to have sidewalks. I want a flat yard. I'd love to see the sunset. And you can just spill your guts into a vocalized prompt and it will actually do a search in the MLS. It will, behind the curtain, the Wizard of Oz, it will build the search, finding all that information In seconds, that search would be impossible if we were just doing filters and drop downs. In seconds, it will build it for you. And you can set it up as auto alerts for your clients. You can even make them lead generate. Like I can drive traffic. I can run ads on Meta looking for a house like this, and it can go there and I can lead generate. You can use it for pricing analysis. If you have a buyer who is indecisive and they keep taking their time and they sleep on every listing, you can say, well, let's talk about what your home really is. And you can spill it into the prompt. And then you can say, actually, there's only been 3 homes that have ever met your criteria and that have sold in the last 3 years. So how important is it to take action the next time one hits the market?
Right.
You can so anyways, it's a prompt.
These are your non-negotiables. What are your negotiables?
He showed me a voicemail. He took a voicemail from a buyer of them just rattling on about what they're looking for, dropped it in, and it built a search. Here's your search. Time saver.
So I was literally just thinking, Jason, and I know, I saw the same. It was, so for my friend listening, imagine you ask for permission. Hey, Mr. Buyer, would you mind if I recorded this session? Because I'm going to drop it into my AI tool and it's going to start immediately identifying every property that matches your criteria and every property that's ever sold with your criteria. Are you okay if I record this? And since all good agents do some form of onboarding with, where do you want to be? Where are the schools? Da, 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 da. And then the whole thing's where you just drop it inside there and it's like, hey, there's no matches.
Mm-hmm.
Or to your point, hey, there's 3 properties that sold in the last 18 months, right? And they sold for a premium, and here's why. Now, should we adjust the criteria? Should we make some changes?
Right.
I think it's a good example, and we got to keep moving here. Big shout out to Andrew and the team. It's a good example of taking something that has been around forever that we become so accustomed to, clicking boxes in the MLS, and now we just add voice. Just one little adjustment that now in your car, you save a bunch of time.
I love that. Hey, Jimmy, can I give you the next one and let you talk about it? Because you've been doing cool things with it.
Go.
Let's do it.
Nano Banana Pro inside Gemini.
First off, it sounds like Tom named that product. Can you give it to the audience? Can you give it to the audience again, please?
It's a TM Nano Banana Pro, part of Gemini. Gemini is Google's AI. Jimmy, I know you've been using it. We've been texting about it. You have the fun with this one, man.
I'm addicted to it, guys. Let me just share my screen real quick because I'll just show this to you because I think it's really helpful to see. So Tom and I collabed on this post that was this concept of market like you gossip.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to pull it up here. I have it pinned to our profile. So Tom and I collabed on this. If you click on the insight, you guys can see this. This post, right, which I created using Nano Banana, right, look how many shares this thing has. 14,569 shares, 11,000 saves. This post has reached, it's closing in now, I think, around over 500,000 people, closing on 500,000 people. So I created this post on the concept called Market Like You Gossip. And so what I did is I used Nano Banana to come in here and basically create, you can see I'm always playing around with these ideas, like taking visuals and creating concept with it. And it creates beautiful visuals that then I'm using and formatting for Instagram. Now, the really cool thing is I was texting my buddy, Krista, and I said, hey, listen, you should do this for like a deal of the week or market update. And look at this one. She normally gets, if I look at her post here, she's normally getting 27 likes, 48 likes, 20 likes, 81 likes. Let's scroll down here. She took the whiteboard concept. Look at this, guys. 1,244 likes on this post.
Yeah. She did great with this.
She did it all, and it's just kind of a carousel style. So what I'm actually thinking a lot about is this idea of, and by the way, shout out to Chris Smith, who's doing amazing work with it. Shout out to Gary Vee, who's doing amazing work with it. If you guys haven't seen what Gary Vee's been doing on this, I'm actually really bullish on this idea, Jason, of taking really important information. So whether it's market updates, best homes for sale, most viral listing on Zillow, an important market trend, taking really important information that consumers should care about and pairing it with kind of this out of the box visualization. So instead, throwing a market stat on a billboard as an example is a really cool concept. Putting it on a handwritten note is a really cool concept.
Yeah.
Right. Talk cards, flip book, whiteboard, coffee cup, you name it. So I think we're now going to enter into this phase where the agents who you need to have, this is the Zen learning, Tom. You need to have two skills. Number one, the first skill is you need to be able to condense information down into a bite-sized, memorable way that sticks. So that's number one. So if there's a market stat that you want to grab, how do you take that market stat and can communicate it in a clear and compelling way that sticks? And then skill number two is you're going to want to be able to visualize that in a way that stops the scroll. And so we're just huge fans of, I can't even say the name without laughing, Nano Banana, right? I mean, they have just done a fantastic job really leapfrogging to the point where, as we know, guys, because we text about this, like other large language models are panicking because Google just leapfrogged them. They're literally panicking at this point.
I love it. Dude, Jimmy, just to give you some, I took your idea and I made an ad out of it for AI Marketing Academy, just because I love the whiteboard idea. I just love that. These cover photos, Nano Banana's designing them from end to end. I'm not even using Canva anymore. I'm just saying, here's a freeze frame for my video. Make me the cover photo. This is the text. I think people are going to start using Nano Banana, not just for image generation, but for full blown graphic design. Hey, can I just stack to, what number are we on? Was that 4? Where are we at?
6.
Okay, we're on 6.
I'm kidding. Go to number 5.
Okay, speaking of Nano Banana Pro, so Notebook LM is owned by Google. It's been around for a while now, where you drop in any links, YouTube videos, whatever you want, and it creates listenable podcasts based upon it. Now they've got Nano Banana inside of Notebook LM. So what we're seeing a lot of our members inside our academy are doing is they're creating full-blown infographic visual videos, because Nano Banana is working with VO inside of Notebook LM, and it's making the full, I can watch a video explaining the process. So Tom, you talked about saving time. They're dropping in all their FAQ videos. They're dropping in their steps of selling home PDF, their buyer guide, whatever it is. And it's creating full-blown assets they can use for servicing their clients better inside Notebook LM.
You could, for my friend that's listening, if you haven't signed up for this yet, go. And I'm thinking, what a perfect example of your end of the year wrap.
Yeah.
On a billboard, I was actually thinking of on a taxi, an ad. There's just so many different places.
Graffitied,
etc. But in the case of I like the whiteboard example. With every agent, you, my friend listening, should do your end of the year recap on that. And of course in a blog, and of course in an email, and of course in a video, and get the word out everywhere on how hard you worked in one of the most challenging real estate markets we've seen since 24 and 23. All right. Yeah, there you go. Love it.
That's so good.
Yep.
Is that Gary?
Yep. Perfect example of GV. All right. So let's go to, what do you guys think about Shiloh?
Well, first off, we have to just one really super fast number 6 here, Tom, because it's related to Shiloh, is when we were together for our founders meetup, Justin was in the room with us and he goes, we're talking about AI tools, and the tool he's like, you guys should all check out is Fixer.ai. And it was literally everybody in the room looked and goes, what does it do? He explains what it does, and then everyone wrote it down. Right? Every person.
We did.
I signed up for it in real time and they gave it to Ruby and said, you're in charge of email. Go.
Yeah. So and just real quick on Fixer, it basically is an AI tool that will connect to your email, that will sort and organize your email, prioritize them to identify which ones you should follow up with, which ones you just have information about, and which ones basically are not important. And now they've gotten really good where if you're okay with it, they'll read all of your emails and they'll write the responses for you to approve and send. And they've gotten so much better at that. What Justin has done with Shiloh, I think is, he's not too far off from building a platform that is really going to power, I think, the future of salespeople in real estate. Yep. They're a smaller company right now, and they have an extraordinary amount of data. And what they're able to learn is they're able to learn so much insight around what actually is working and what's not working. And I think I'm just a fan of companies that are AIifying the most common tasks we do every single day that we take for granted. And so sales training, I think right now is perfect perfectly ripe for AI disruption in the best kind of way. Now, what I'm hoping for, Jason, at some point when it comes to these sort of AI sales tool, like Gong being the OG in the space, Shiloh being sort of our vertical product of the same category, what I'm really hoping for is they are now doing analysis after you have a sales call. And I talked to Justin about this before, but when do you really need it? In my career, Tom, I think I told you a story. I worked for Countrywide Home Loans, the first job I got hired at 19, and they had this amazing training program, both them and Aegis Lending. And I remember they put you in front of basically, I wouldn't call it a computer, it was like a terminal, okay? and it says, and all it said was, say this. And I'd say, hi, this is Jimmy Mackin calling from Countrywide Home Loans, blah, blah, blah. And then once I said it said, click next. I click next, and I just say the next thing. I think we're going to enter a world where AI can be like your thought partner on a sales call live, where it's either telling you what to say or telling you what to ask in real time. And the moment we hit that, I mean, I think everybody wins.
Fellas, Jason, we launched this in Revy. Sort of phase one was, hey, client, hey, coach, you don't have to take notes anymore. We'll take care of that for you. We'll break down the inflection points of the things that are most important to you. We're going to send you that email. But every client knows what I've been waiting for is after we get that one fully baked, we turn on what we've been working on, which is now it's, Jason, I want to work on this, and this. What's everybody else doing? What do you recommend for me? Mm-hmm. And now Revy says, before Jason starts his brilliant answer, it's like, here's what everybody's doing in the entire ecosystem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Here's the highest performing activities. And then Jason can say, well, hey, I can turn that on and show it to the client, or eventually it'll be you, your coach, and Revy all working together at the same exact time. And again, it's taking what we've always done and AIifying it, exactly as you said. So love it.
This may sound a little futurist, but Jimmy, I think your point that you shared too about real-time intelligence, real-time data, I think that certainly is a trend we should all be looking for what are tools that can give me that edge. And when you look at this is, again, futurist sounding, look at the new Meta glasses that have come out where you have an on-screen lens where the ability to be prompted and to have alerts is real. Right now, there's a patent out. I forget if it's Apple or Google who has the patent out, but they're working on hologram technology. Not like I'm actually transporting myself somewhere, but like full on the ability to be somewhere more immersively. And so we're looking at new communication mediums, new capabilities that I think are going to just be obviously really well positioned for any kind of a sales, influence, persuasion industry or career. So you should be looking for, how do I enhance myself with that kind of data and real-time technology so that I can be more effective in the moment, because you only get so many appointments, so many conversations. And if a tool can help you convert better and get the outcome you're looking for, you got to be open. You got to be open to those tools right now. And I think Shiloh's certainly moving for like a real estate vertical. I think they're moving in that direction. They already have some great techniques and technology that's going to really level up your sales skills.
For my friend that's listening, I think, I don't know if all of you guys invest in this, but I put some money in right in the very beginning, really betting on Justin and Eli. I'm looking at across 1.75 million analyzed sales calls from hundreds of organizations and thousands of agents. Findings reveal a widespread performance crisis. And then it literally goes through, for example, for my friend listening. So imagine if you listen to 1.75 million sales calls, right? Buyers and sellers, consumers calling in, inquiring about seeing a house, trying to find out, yada, yada, yada. At a glance, it says high level performance distribution, 40.26% of agents scored 2 out of 5 or below, or only 24% on average on a sales call. So do we have a lead problem?
Conversion.
We have a conversion problem. We have a confidence problem is what we have mostly, is what this did. Filler words. 36% of feedback was 634,000 of the 1.7 million flagged excessive filler language. Okay. Confidence, literally 34% completely lacked confidence, or they had hesitation when a buyer asked a question. Follow-up, 77%, 1.35 million show failure to set clear expectations on the next step. All right. Okay. Well, Jason, I'll do some work and I'll call you later. And then professionalism, 20% of them just said flat out, not professional at all. Now, for my friend listening, at the end of the day, you can make the argument every lead is a human being that wants to do something.
Yeah.
Every human being deserves your respect, your 100% attention, and your ability to guide and direct them. And what they're doing at Shiloh, which I love, is they're literally taking all the real-time data. And to your point, Jimmy, it's exactly what it does. Say this, do this. It's after coaching, like in a football game, let's watch the film. And now it's, hey, in real time, this is what you should say. Right now it's follow-up boss users only, and I'm pretty sure it's mostly teams only, but it's definitely something to keep your eyes on, my friends. I'm going to share one since I didn't share any really. Have you guys looked at Koala?
It's familiar, but you have to jog my memory.
Koala, right? Koala.sh. I think it's the best blog writing I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
I got Jason's attention. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Tom Ferry, I'm out. I got Jason's attention. Let's go.
This is it here. I'm looking at it. Yep.
Koala.
What do you like about it?
A client said, hey, you should check this out. And I was like, oh, let me take a look at this. And I sent it over to my team and I'm like, hey, they're like, oh, this is really good.
That's cool.
And again, I'm sure like the Koala, powered by ChatGPT 5, Claude 4, one click, publish ready articles. Again, speed. How can I do it faster? How can I do it better? How can I automate it? How do I save time? How do I save money? And how do I make money? So I would check out Koala just for fun out there. And then you guys can DM us and let us know what you think. Fellas, I got to jump so you guys can keep going. But this has been an electric show. I hope for my friend listening, we're a little baby right now, a little acorn, feeling like we're kind of starting to sprout. So for my friend listening, thank you. Thank you for giving us your time and your attention. It means the world to us. Keep telling us what you want more of. Keep putting comments out there. Tell us what you hate. Tell us what you like. Remember when we started this? Remember what we said, fellas? We talk like this all the time. We're just going to film it and send it to people. Do we need to get more professional or should we be more goofy? You can let us know in the comments. Jimmy's no longer nice. He's a son of a bitch, but I love him.
We'd like Jimmy to swear more. It'd be great.
All right, but I got to bounce. Thank you so much, my friends. We'll see you guys on the next show. Take care, everybody. Let's go.